When talking about the biggest sporting events, your mind probably takes to the Olympics and the FIFA World Cup. But forget those just for a little bit. There are tons of other sporting events that year on year draw far bigger crowds and much more money in the process. Today, we're looking at the biggest sporting events in the world. Before we begin, make sure to like this video and smash that subscribe button for a free ticket to the Olympics. You bet. Let's go! NBA Finals. When it comes to sporting finals, few countries create a grand stage quite like the American sports, and the NBA Finals is no exception. The Finals series, which generally consists of 4 to 7 games between the top 2 basketball teams from the regular season, is one of the most lucrative TV advertising slots, year after year. The marketplace reports that in 2016, business and brands paid upwards of $600,000 per 30 seconds of advertising during the airing of the Finals series. Time reports that Game 7 of the 2016 series drew in a viewership of 29 million, while the series brought in a total of 155 million viewers. They go on to report that each game of the final series is worth over 80 million in ad revenue, taking the total for the 2016 series to a whopping $560 million. So how much money do the NBA champions actually win? The NBA creates a players' pool each season that's split among the teams that make the playoffs and finals, and the National Basketball Players Association helps decide how it's divided up. This time, the pool is about $22 million. An NBPA representative confirmed to the CNBC Make It. Last season, when the pool was 20 million, the winning team took home around 3.3 million, which broke down to about $220,000 per player for a 15-person roster. So, as you could imagine, the later you join the NBA, the more you'll get after you and your team take the W. Tour de France. Despite the long shadow cast by Lance Armstrong's doping scandal and the stripping of his 7 titles, the Tour de France as a sporting event has continued to thrive ever since. The television ratings are huge. 3.5 billion viewers in 190 countries and territories, according to The National, while the tournament's average TV revenue of 24 million is lower than the biggest events. The 15 million spectators which watch the race in person trounces any other sporting event in the world. For the past 55 years, the Tour de France has been quote-unquote owned by the Amaury Sport Organization. While no tickets are sold, still Amaury generates somewhere between 60 million and 150 million. The Tour de France is undoubtedly the biggest bike race in the world, and the prize pot on offer certainly reflects that. In 2020, the total prize money available was a bit over 2.293 million, an increase on the 2.291 available in the 19 race. The greatest prize of all is to wear the yellow jersey on the final day in Paris, and alongside a warm glow and maybe an increase in annual salary, the winner of the tour also earns $500,000 plus $500 for every day spent in the leader's position. So if you count that together, that's a pretty huge bag. Wimbledon. The pinnacle of tennis, where legends are made and historical sporting moments are created. Wimbledon is one of the most iconic and recognizable events in the sporting world. From the perfect green surfaces and celebrity crowd to the mandatory white sporting attire and Henman Hill, Wimbledon is an incredible event. Soaked in history and tradition since its inception in 1877, Wimbledon is one of the biggest sporting events in the world for sure. The 2016 event was one of the biggest on record, reaching an audience of 1 billion people in 200 countries and territories, according to Wimbledon. The championship makes just around 40 million on the grounds of the All England club itself, while overall, Wimbledon generates just over 150 million when TV's revenue is included, according to Mike. In 2020, the event was sadly cancelled, but in 2019, the winner took home a bit over 2.62 million, and the runner-up about half as much. The price grew for about 4.44% since last year, which is a decent amount. So if you're into tennis, what are you waiting for? Super Bowl. Coming in at second place on its list is the biggest event on the NFL calendar, the Super Bowl. Many may be surprised by this ranking given the mass amount of coverage the event receives every year, but rest assured it has been pipped to the top spot by a colossal competition. The Super Bowl itself is the final championship game of the NFL season, and in the 2017 showcase, it drew in 111 million viewers on average during the game and $2 billion in broadcasting rights revenue, according to Reuters. Incredibly, Lady Gaga's halftime show caught an eye of 117.5 million viewers, which was the second highest viewership spike, bettered only by 117.7 million who watched the overtime. Every year, the NFL makes tens of millions of dollars in merchandise sales, both leading up to and during the game. This is on top of the league's brand partnerships, which typically take a central position during the Super Bowl. While the NFL does not release specific numbers on its partnerships, in 2019, the consulting firm IEG estimated that they were worth approximately $1.39 billion. Not to mention, the Super Bowl ads are extremely expensive and go for millions. So I'm sorry to bring it to you in case you wanted to advertise your brand new Instagram theme page. Mr. Beast tried and put up a PewDiePie ad and got rejected, so I assume you'd be having a pretty hard time as well. UEFA Champions League. The UEFA Champions League is the ultimate club football tournament on earth. It brings together the top leagues in Europe, pitting champions against champions to see who is the greatest footballing side on the continent. The tournament stretches over a 9-month period in coordination with Europe's domestic leagues. According to Vocative, the Champions League final draws a TV audience of almost 400 million people each year, with viewers tuning in from 200 countries and territories. That's basically every single place on earth. Broadcasting rights are charged at a premium for the event, with 1.85 billion the total fee collected at last year's final. The winners of the 2020 Champions League final will pocket 19 million for the feat, while the runner-ups are set to receive 15 million. However, the overall prize money allocated to the team that wins the Champions League will be much higher than that. Champions League prize money is distributed based primarily on performance, with teams rewarded for winning matches along the way to the final, and it goes well above $100 million. So the formula is simple: the farther a club advances, the more money it makes. But I don't think any of us would be mad with the 19 million, huh? Yeah, I thought so. That's it for the biggest sporting events in the world. Did any of these surprise you? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel with notifications on to always be informed of a new video drop. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great whatever it might be.